Good morning, class. I hope that you're all doing well and that your last week before spring break has gone well and that you are ready to relax after today. Um, what we're going to be doing today is we will be building your outline and writing your introduction paragraph for your essay. By building your outline this week, it means after spring break, when we return, you'll be able to easily finish and fill in the rest of the paragraphs that you need to complete your essay before the due date. So let's get started on and do a quick review on the information you'll need to complete your outline. So on Tuesday and Thursday of this week, you began your summative assessment by doing research using this template here. So all the answers to the questions in this template, if you have finished them, like you should have done, this will be really easy to create our outline today. If you've identified 4 characteristics of the empire that you chose, if you identified a motive with some examples and reasons to support your answer, if you found 2 major historical events, one from the beginning and the end of the chosen empire, and if you found a few ways that the empire you chose had an impact on the societies and cultures that came after them. If you've answered all these questions and you have examples for each of these questions, you will very easily be able to complete your outline today. So what you'll need to do to complete your outline is come to our assignment today, and you will be using this document here, the 6B essay outline. That's where you'll be doing all of your work for today, okay? What you're going to be doing is filling in each of these sections with bullet points. So that just means quick little bits of information that are going to be the topics of the sentences or the concepts that you touch on in each paragraph in your essay. You will do that with the body paragraph 1, 2, 3, and the conclusion. Each of those, you will just write some bullet points. But today you're going to write an introductory paragraph. You'll actually write that paragraph. So for the introduction, you're going to actually write the introductory paragraph. But for the rest of these sections, body paragraph 1 to 3 and the conclusion, you're just going to be using bullet points. So let's go through and see what is needed for each of these sections. In your introduction, you're just going to briefly introduce the main ideas of your essay, kind of lightly touch on all the ideas that are in the rest of the paragraphs here. You're not writing big, long descriptions. This shouldn't take you more than 3 or 4 sentences. This is short, to the point, and summarizing main ideas that you will touch on in the essay. Your body paragraph, the first one, you should give a description of the general history and an argument for the motivation for the empire that you chose. So you'll have to go over things like when and where did this empire exist, what were some of the major events related to the rise and fall. So those are things, remember, that are directly from your research plan. So things like the rise and fall, one event from each of those. You'll have to give 2 examples from those times, and then you have to describe and justify why some examples prove the motivation that you chose. Okay, so you have to talk about the motivation for your empire, which is the question that you did right here, number 3. If you answered that question correctly, you will pull that into this paragraph here. In your second paragraph, you're going to give examples of the characteristics of empires. So you found 4 characteristics for your empire here, and you gave an example for each one. You're just going to make a bullet-pointed list of those, okay? And in the body paragraph 3, you'll make a bullet-pointed list of the information you found in the last question. So that will be what were the lasting effects that your empire had on society, and cultures that came after it, giving some examples and some reasons. And then finally, your conclusion, you'll just bullet point bringing all those ideas together. So each of these, body paragraph 1, 2, 3, and the conclusion, you're just filling in with bullet points and you're writing a summary for your introductory paragraph. And then at the end, you'll put your works cited page. So there you'll just list, right here, you'll just copy in all of the citations that you used from this. So each of the citations, MLA citations you listed here, will get moved over into this section. You might want to or decide that you want to reorganize or combine some of the information in these body paragraphs, and that's okay. But you need to make sure that you have the similar sentence number for each section, okay? So if you want to move things around and change the order, of these paragraphs, that's okay, but you shouldn't just describe the history in a single sentence, right? You should take about 3 or 4 to describe it. So just make sure that you're not spending too little time on each topic. Make sure that you're spending the right amount of time, the right amount of sentences on each topic. I've provided an example here of me completing this, but with the Ottoman Empire, so the different empire than the ones that you could choose from. And so here I've given an example of an introduction that I could write. Excuse me, you can find this document right here, my example. So I've given an example of the introduction to the Ottoman Empire. So I just opened it and said, the Ottoman Empire was one of the largest and most powerful empires to ever exist. From the 14th century until the early 20th century, the Ottomans reigned over parts of 3 continents at their greatest point and played a major role in the spreading of Islam throughout the world. By becoming so strong, and through the characteristics of imperialism, the Ottomans left a lasting impact on the cultures and societies that followed them. So in this opening paragraph, I have summarized the main ideas of the essay, right? So here, I have briefly summarized what's going to be in this first paragraph. And I've briefly summarized the motivation here, right? I briefly summarized their motivation that I chose here. I've also briefly summarized using the characteristics of imperialism here, the ones that I chose in the ones that I talked about in the second body paragraph. I've summarized that here. And then the Ottomans left a lasting impact on the culture and societies that followed them. And that's me briefly summarizing what's going to be talked about in the third body paragraph. So if you see, I've used general, very basic descriptions of what follows in the body paragraphs to create my introduction. And you should do something similar, but with your own empire, whether that's the Byzantine, the Babylonian, or the Tang. I've given examples on how to summarize each of, or how to complete your outline. So you're just going to use bullet points. Notice I haven't used fully complete sentences. I haven't written paragraphs or anything very specific. I've just given the main ideas and kind of summarized the things that you would have summarized in your research sheet from Tuesday and Thursday of this week. So you're just putting your ideas down so that when we come back from spring break, you'll easily be able to build these body paragraphs and the conclusion using the information that you've already gathered. You'll be able to easily build it using the framework of this outline. So for your outline, for everything except the introduction, you're just going to be putting bullet points, summarizing some main ideas, and all of the little facts that you need to include in your essay. So today you need to finish this and turn this in. I hope that you have a wonderful spring break, and I will see you guys or talk to you guys when we finish and get back on the 21st. Talk to you later, guys. Email me or comment with any questions. Bye.